My name is Spicy Brown. Nimmm Film Productions is the production company that we have. And we are presenting today's event called Voices to Be Heard. Isn't that powerful? Yes. And they had some powerful voices, and guess what? They need to be heard.
This next person is coming up has had relations with words for over 40 years. Her passion is expressed through writing, transformed an ordinary pastime into understanding the words have flavor. Please help me in bringing up Miss Karma versus Love.
Thank you. Look at all the beautiful people. This is a man not looking at, so I'm looking at myself. All right. Before I get started, I do want to give honor to every poet in this place, which means everybody who's in here, because if you live in, you're a poet, because your life is poetry. And I want to also give honor to, of course, Nikki Giovanni. Yeah. Left her. She went to a better place. Yes. All right. I've never been afraid to look directly into the sun. My pupils became students, and radiance and elevation became one. And through circumstance, I learned that coincidence and happenstance don't exist. It is in this perfect persist that I resist the urge to stay in places I long ago outgrew. I learned to tap into what I always knew. There is a blood covenant in you, who is me. And we are the branches of the same tree. Same tribe, same time, same scribe written in different ink. Same mind, same think on different levels. Same cuts and bevels of stained glass until clarity becomes clear. There is no doubt or defeat here. Do you know who you are? Just one planet with 8 billion worlds called you. Step into the flame beyond your name and become, because you are coming, and I see you running this race hand in hand and face to face until we find rest. This is a test. It is only a test of the emergency broadcast system. It is only a test. If this were not a test, you would be notified through this station. I see you in perfection and relation. And on this ship, we sit together and we sail. We prevail. Take off your shoes. This is holy ground. It's morning. You move and jump in your sleep. Memories too painful to keep still. I desire to go higher and spill. Be inspired and inspire. Put out the fire that burns. Rewrite the wrongs you've learned. Pay you what you've earned through blood and sweat. Never let you forget that you are worth it. My shining star in the dark, my inner spark, the mysterious, elusive, great white shark that jerks and moves in your sleep. Your heart I seek to keep and protect, and no disrespect, but loving freely ain't easy. I see nightmares behind your closed eyes. I feel them nestle between my thighs, disguised as silent cries, got me crying in silence. I feel the inner struggle between peace and violence, confusion and knowledge. What lies beneath while you sleep and stalks when you awake makes your heart ache like the grip of a tightly wound snake with apple on his breath, gripping you to death. My windows, they sweep across your body. You embody everything I knew I needed but couldn't find. I climb inside your mind, and every time I do, I get tangled deeper. I get lost and found in you. I heard you call my name long before I was ever there. Something in you knew God heard your prayer. I sit and I stare. You push and I care. I carry your smile, shows up everywhere. You move and jump, reliving yesterday's hurt. Hide it away like a chest behind a button-down shirt. They wait for you in your sleep. They creep and seep into your psyche. Being free from the past seems highly unlikely, but now it's morning. And I want to pull you out of your dream into a dream. Show you what love can truly mean. Bring life to your bloodstream. So when you open your eyes, I'm standing in you. Arms open, hoping, heart exposed and naked, sacred. unconcealed and unrestricted. I understand why your mind is conflicted by the past image of love that was depicted. I'm here. We are here. Your heart called me. My heart heard you. My heart called you. Your heart heard me. And we came together. Now open your eyes. Hello. My name is Joy, and it's morning. And this is my third and last. I want to hit you with soulmate. How many of y'all know what a soulmate is? I thought I did. What do you do when your soulmate has no soul? No place to have, to love, or to hold. What is the recover after a lover that can't take you to the place he chose to take another? How do you love when love is not enough, when stuff gets rough and times get tough, when your character is attacked, your nerves are racked, self-esteem cracked, bills stacked, bags by the door already packed? How do you love when your soulmate has no soul? When your patience is thin and feelings are cold, waiting to rejuvenate the things that are old? How do you come back to the place that once was, looking for the things that made you glow, only to realize and know that the lover you had has a space in his chest where a heart should go? Gone and forgotten, a space lost in time, suspended in a hole with no conscience or mind. How do you give up yourself when there's nothing left to give? Everything is gone and you don't know where love is. When things are amiss and being wed is no longer bliss. Clinging to the memory of the last sweet kiss. Tell me how to love when you love more than enough, when times are hard and shit gets rough. When your character is assassinated and you can't find your way, when your head needs them gone, but your heart begs him to stay. How do you manage to crack a smile, emotion defiled, and it's no longer worthwhile to reconcile? What comes next when your mate is lost and you look back on what betrayal caused, hopeful of a tomorrow that never seems to unfold? Exactly where do you find heaven when your soulmate has no soul?
Our next artist coming to the stage, she's an accomplished writer and author of her first book entitled What's the Point? As well as a proud owner of her own fitness business. Her favorite saying is, for many years I did what I had to do. Now I've been blessed with the opportunity to do what I love to do. Please help me bring up Miss Angie.
I gave this the title, Pursue That Purpose, and I gave this the title tonight. I did not have a title for this until I came and talked to my good sister then. First time on a stage, my written words said aloud in front of a crowd, and I hope you are wowed. Not because of who I am, but the message I present. Also who I represent. Some went, but I was sent. Every night this week, I sat, I prayed for the word to say leading up to this day. My God is so kind. He flooded my mind just in the nick of time with this lyrical rhyme. So please lend me your ears and be prepared to hear this message from my spirit. These words are sincere. I'll do my best to speak loud and clear. I'm so grateful and thankful to have you all here. Now let me proceed to sow some seed, and I pray you all will be blessed indeed. Walking in my purpose and loving it too, doing what I was put on this earth to do. Utilizing life's lessons and my God-given gift to motivate, inspire, encourage, and uplift. First word is motivate. In Latin, it means to move. And there's no stopping you once you're in your groove. Your why is the place where motivation resides. Time to shift into gear. Why are you waiting for the new year? Ready, set, go. Take that leap of faith. I know you'll be great. No, it's not too late. Second word is inspire. I'm here and on fire to throw out some sparks on your dreams and desires. I'm your purpose igniter. your passion inciter, fanning your flames so you will go higher. Third word is encourage. Keep going, don't stop, and rise to the top. You're the cream of the crop. You have what it takes. No one does what you do. They can try to replace you, but they can't fill your shoes. There is only one you, unlike anybody else, fearfully and wonderfully made by the Master himself. Fourth word is uplift. It means to improve, to help and to raise another person's mood. As I wrap up this message, I wanted to say, I pray that I've lightened and brightened your day. If you came here tonight and you were feeling down, I pray that I've said something that will cause a turnaround. And as you get out of that seat and walk to the door, I hope you feel much better than you did before. As I've poured into you, I've filled myself back up, constantly pouring from an overflowing cup. I'm so humbled and honored to use this gift to motivate, inspire, encourage, and uplift.
So we got another poet coming up, and just disclosure, these are her words, not mine. I'm not doing spoken word, but this is her introduction. So it says, words soothe me, words move me, words console me, words move me. But most of all, words help me keep my sanity. Let me help you. Shh. Just listen.
Good evening. It's been a long time since I did this. Patient when I stumble. Alright? Thank you.
They cut my titty off. I know it's not pretty, but even if I said the word breast, the situation would still be shit. They cut my titty off. I went for my mammogram. 2 days later, I got a telegram saying something wasn't quite right. Call us back in the AM. They cut my titty off. First, it was a biopsy that turned into a lumpectomy that soon became a mastectomy. That was my destiny. They took my titty off. And although I knew I wasn't living quite right, I knew early death was not meant to be my plight. So instead of putting up a fight, I said, take it. Damn, I had you all my life. They cut my titty off. So I prayed all these years, even shed a few tears, trying to figure out why my twins were not identical in size. Surprise, it was cancer inside. They cut my titty off. Then here they come talking about some lymph nodes and the microscope showed them so, and maybe the other ones got to go. And surely I can't say no. Lo and behold, all the bras went into the bin for recycle. They cut my titties off. So now, where do I go when I want to get busy? Should I first let them know? Should I say it takes two, it's just for a raw bishop? Or if a handful isn't enough, you gotta go. Whoa, these scars ain't sexy, you know. They cut my titties off. And without touching, I keep trying to feel what I once thought was such a big deal. And now it's just scars trying to heal. And I know I should be grateful for life, but this crap is surreal. They cut my titties off. And I know with one eye you can still see, and with one good kidney you can still pee, and a woman can have babies with one ovary, and 2 breasts don't make you sexy. But damn, why me? They cut my titties off.
Get your mammogram today. Because for real, I get both titties, an arm and a leg. To live and breathe another day, they cut my titties up. But so what? Only had a B cup. Damn, she sucks and beat. See, it's not that I have lesbian tendencies or that I'm partial to bisexuality. For me, it's just a necessity to recognize all true beauty. So when she passed by me, I released all my insecurities. I wanted to know her because she is who I wanted to be. See, if she was the root, I wanted to be the tree. If she was two, I would be happy to be the twig. You follow me? So I stepped back and watched her as she moved so gracefully. I stared at her as she spoke so eloquently. I inhaled her because her scent intoxicated me. Damn, is this how love at first sight should be? Intently, I pursued what I thought was my destiny. Although I sensed her insecurities, I had to have her. And in turn, she wanted me. I was to be her new he. And somehow I knew she'd always be there for me. So I waited patiently. Sooner or later, I knew I'd draw her magnetically. And when she passed by me, looking so intently, I touched her hand ever so lightly. I offered her a drink, and she told me, yeah, she was thirsty. For knowledge of truth, I asked desperately. She said both, deep with a voice that was raspy, head bowed down, as if she already knew I was royalty. In fact, she reminded me the best lesson learned is humility. And when she raised her head, I sensed familiarity. I recognized her and saw she was me in my dreams. And when I looked into her eyes, I realized it was me. Finally, I'm the woman I've been searching for spiritually. I let him go and found my true love is me, not he. So don't fool yourself with who someone else wants you to be. Follow your heart wherever it may lead. Knowledge of self is the only truth that will set you free. If you can't love you right now, love the you want to be. But first plant the seed, nourish the spirit of your God, make your God yours exclusively. For me, I'm learning to reject the other. To accept it would be sheer blasphemy. So step by step, I recognize my inner beauty. And with confidence, I'm proud of what you said. Finally, I'm the real bald-headed me. All right, one more and that's it. I wrote this a long time ago. All I changed was a few people's names. And you'll see, it's still the same. It's still the same. You came from greatness, God's original creation, inspired from revelations. Now Let's make the correlation between you and those who live in a simulation, trying hard to be of the American nation, but weakened, succumbing to the devastation of this so-called new X generation, young and old, full of frustration, damnation, and yes, most of all, hateration. So ignorant as to ignore our Black relations, arguing about immigration when we ourselves participate in our own annihilation. Genocide is our greatest abomination. The police and us killing us should be the focus of our concentration. Instead of rioting in our own community, in the communities we live in, looking like fools in front of the nation, dishonoring Martin's peaceful demonstrations. Instead, we dance and drink expensive libations, show up on YouTube, twerking to the latest vibrations, babies having babies because parents set no limitations, videos and lyrics that approve giving into temptation. Hormones got 9-year-olds starting menstruation. Pornography has the young boys headed for castration. And you wonder why the Republicans want Trump to lead our legislation. We have found ourselves in this situation. Lost from God, we have no foundation. Only united can we build a responsible delegation. It's time to dispel the white man's misinterpretations. We are more than liberated slaves off the plantation. Cease to be a slave master's imitation. Stop feeding into intimidation. Seek elevation. Say goodbye to degradation. Do not accept the stimulation of the mind masturbation. After all, the reward is never ejaculation. Now, let's look closely at this so-called civilization, how Jim Crow's careful contemplation without pause or hesitation, based on mindful Willie Lynch determination, led us to crack and heroin and utter desperation. I mean, the Malcolm's assassination, Martin's civil rights demonstrations, the ongoing debate on reparations, the Afro-American declassification, and you mean to tell me Ebonics is the best we can do for communication? And now it's time for restoration. Instead of begging for acceptance, let's educate our population. Let's teach love is not penetration, or the shiver you may get from that sensation. Teach our children to be creative and use their imagination. Teach them to choose marriage, then procreation, instead of abortion and miseducation. Let's demand equal representation. We got Obama in twice. We let Trump ruin the legacy of his administration. We have to change our current situation. Our ignorance causes most of our discrimination. It breeds and feeds our moral dissemination.
The next person that we have, she discovered her love for poetry as a teenager and has been using it as a means of self-expression ever since. In 2021, her poem, Fine China, was her first published work. And she has been honing on her craft. So let's give a round of a sniff for Jess Speaks. All right.
They say first impressions are everything, but what if I told you that that very thing could also be impairing? I've came to the realization that corporate America, or shall I say white America, will not ever fully accept our appearance. I've walked into rooms and even been nice enough to speak first, and they just look at me all incoherently. They stop and they stare, but you know what? I want them to look. Let them look as I cook. Because in this chess game, these folks ain't nothing but some rooks. Only they can move front, back, side, side. So yeah, let them watch me glide. Glide across the floor like a queen in a fairy tale book. Or better yet, a powerful African-American queen in a history book. And I'm talking about one with our real truth written in it. Not one that's been rewritten and stolen by these crafty crooks. They know how powerful we really are. That's what's got them shook. They want us to compete in this white collar, blue collar, all for the green American dollar, but the gag is you gotta be shackled to a chain collar and it makes me wanna holler. Then they lock away our black men for selling dope, taking our fathers, so mentally we get defeated and it's like, why bother? But have you ever realized who the biggest kingpin really is? It doesn't matter how much the media and the government try to wash things with soap. Dope is dope.
Right.
Their job is to cut the hope, serve the dope, until we find out we no longer can cope. It's a corrupt system, but nobody takes note. Instead, they sugarcoat, turn us against each other. Only the snakes and the rats stay afloat, stay woke. And I know it sounds cliche, but united we stand. We have to build our own table. It's more beneficial. Their table, it's fickle. So open your eyes. Look past the lies. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is now. The revolution is live. The next one is Black Queen. Angry, irate, ghetto, depressed, and oppressed. That's the stereotype they want us to dwell in. Loud talking, hand clapping, finger snapping, want to be heard. Sisters going against their own sisters. You don't see they're trying to divide us? They know an army of queens is strong beyond means, so they try to intervene. But nowadays, queens want to act all independent like a Kaylee Yogi to show them to just lean. Stop, sis. Together we can actually do this. We may not share the same dream, but you can still be on my team. If you're setting goals and executing plans, let's lead the way. So many of us out here need to uplift their self-esteem. It's SOS, save ourselves. We now need to intervene. Teach our daughters that rejection is just God's protection. Let them know that with wisdom often comes correction, which is going to push them in the right direction. Let them know that being pretty, black, and educated is an actual equation. And let them know that yes, you will get down, but as many times as you need to, baby. You look yourself in that mirror, adjust your crown. And although this poem is dedicated to my black queens, is love and empowerment for all colors to be seen. Us black queens, we just mask it well. Wake up, get the kids together, go to work, have a bad day, and at the end of that day, we done still slave. And with that being said, please, please, please always remember that a queen without a king is still and always will be a queen. Alright, last one. I might stumble with this one, but very well. This is for the guys. I pray for you, black man. Because I know that life is much more than getting up, looking in the mirror, and saying things like, yes, I can. You've had an arrow on your back since life began, so saying affirmations may help, but it doesn't protect you from the clan. There's times before you leave, in my mind I sing Jaheim jokingly. Just in case you don't make it home tonight, let me make love to you for the last time, baby. But in reality, it's not a joke to me. I know that you can walk out that door, someone can look at you and instantly be filled with envy. Then they shoot, and you're taken from you. And let's not talk about 12. 12 be on their best BS. They do sadistic things purposely, then turn around and get off on temporary insanity. I pray for you, black man. Yes. Because they don't see what I see when you're walking down the street. They want you to be full to capacity with envy, poverty, and deceit. Yet you're still so intriguing to them. They're trying to figure out how you carry so much weight, face hate, and still find time to be a present father and participate. Yeah. See, their miseducation is thinking that you had no education. And that's when they start making you think you have some missing qualifications. Manipulating your point of view, they want nothing to do but mentally annihilate you. I pray for you, black man. Because I know the crown gets heavy and you was taught that men don't cry, but you can release them tears to me and I will be that levee. Creating that safe space. Them tears ain't nothing but liquid prayers. I pray for you, you pray for me. It's just that easy. Together our prayers will put the devil's mind in a spindle. I pray for you, black man. And although you as fine as them black men in the 90s movies, it's not your body that I yearn for. It's your mind that I adore. Your fight, your strength to go on is what makes me want you more and more. And I love the wisdom you have when we're at war. You know when to just speak and when to keep quiet. Because you know that silence speaks volumes in many climates, and sometimes that's how you gotta slay some of these giants. You got it down to a science. You hit everything you aim at. That's that accuracy. Ha, my king, there's no comparing thee. I used to wonder what color love was, but all I know is my favorite hue is you. I pray for you, black man.
Y'all was feeling that. I was feeling. So, our next poet is Dedrick, aka CDA. Now, before I tell you what CDA stands for, can anybody give me a guess? What do you think that stands for?
Coolest dude alive.
You already know. And he is actually one of the coolest dudes, right? So he started freestyling poetry on social media about 13 years ago, which led him to blessing stage at various spoken word events. He has not touched a stage in over 10 years. So we've just been coming out of retirement moment for him. And he plays it stage and voices that we hear. So without further ado, let's give a round of a snack for Speedy Harry.
All right, so it's been a minute, as she said. Nerves kind of get the best of me, but I'm gonna get through it. All right? Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. So then they got the boy back on the stage again. Been a long time since I made breaking news front page again. But it wasn't nothing for me to dust off the cobwebs and put the pen to the page again. Are you not entertained? Is this not why you're here? I left the bow tie theme on stage 10 years ago, but I figured it was time for the coolest dude alive to reappear. Speaking of themes, at first I thought it was a bit extreme to have a 6-performer roster featuring 5 queens, but then I thought, nah, it's exactly what it seems that the only space left is fit for a king. Now let's get into it. A lot of women been carrying these burdens around for such a long time, programmed to keep smiles upon their faces to make you think that everything is fine. But it's the inner beauty in which they now lack. So they try to make it up for it on the outside by wearing MAC. But realistically speaking, makeup ain't good for your skin by far. You see, it might cover them blemishes, but it damn sure don't hide them scars. Because though those scars you've acquired may be on the inside, even those aviator shades you wear can't hide the pain in your eyes. Does she sit alone? Of course not. But she chose to sit in silence. So we have no idea that she's living in fear and goes home to domestic violence. All that time being treated as if you never even mattered. I wonder how many of y'all went from girlfriends to wives that are still being battered. I understand there's some serious issues y'all dealing with, but it ain't helping you not one bit by continuously concealing it. A woman whose self-esteem is low is probably a woman scorned. Some of y'all never let go. That's why it's so hard for you to move on. I realize that tender soul of yours took a beating. Rape, abuse, single parenthood, even dealing with men cheating. Seems like men have forgotten how to love a woman. And we wonder why they decide to go and love another woman. I think it all started when Adam was tricked into touching the fruit that was forbidden. But the new forbidden fruit is the one that women keep hidden. And if she ain't trying to give it up, you can't make her. Yet some guys take matters in their own hands and choose to break them. Now, she don't even have the option to preserve it. I don't give a damn what she does. No woman deserves it. How would you like to be forced into having sex against your will? And if it wasn't for being raped, some of y'all would probably be a virgin still. So instead of you telling someone whether or not you were pleased, all you got out of it was a few STDs. And quite a few instances where people have gotten pregnant, then choose to have the baby with no father and end up regretting it. Now, I understand all your choices ain't gonna be good, but shit is real out here in the world of single parenthood. Learn to put your trust in God and let him handle the rest. Get a grip on yourself and put them feelings to rest. I'm a product of a single parenthood myself. And though my mom's made it look easy, I'm sure it was affecting her health. But no matter what, she smiled so much that it made her mouth wide. Or maybe that was just her way of covering it up on the outside. I can't say I feel your pain, but trust me, I understand. But being a strong woman ain't got shit to do with a man. You see, it's a fine line between wants and needs and love and lust. A lot of women wear their heart on their sleeve and be trusting too much. Because no matter what he says, you seem to believe him. How many ass whoopings must it take before you decide to leave him? I know, he tell you he love you so much. But love is a feeling you get when you get treated as such. I admit I made some fucked up decisions too. But in some instances, some of the blame has to be put on you. Have some patience, because it takes time to know whether or not those feelings are true. And stop saying you love every goddamn body that you run into. You see, the truth is, women got this habit of covering up a man's wrongdoings with a bunch of excuses. Talking about, I know he loved me, when deep down inside she really feels useless. And she's smart as heck, but keep playing dumb like she don't know what mental, physical, and verbal abuse is. But it's just gonna get passed down to the children if she doesn't choose to stop it. And the bigger picture is never seen because she always chooses to crop it. Because you can't see much when looking out of such a small window. And she don't even realize the world is filled with some good men though. Stop picking these so-called bad guys to rely on. If the shoe ain't your size, that means it ain't even worth a try on. If she's so stuck on this thing of being a ride or die chick, instead of finding someone worth living for that she can grow old and die with. Some of you choose to not tell your story, but you know what? The first step in letting go of your past is done by simply opening up. And if it helps, I'd lend an ear, a shoulder, or even a hug if I could. Then as you look back on all the bad things, crack a smile and say everything's going to be all good. Can I do one more? Appreciate you. I think I might be going to this one. Poor little frustrated soul. I sense your vibrations. Those vibes that you hide are given away by such astounding vibrations. Yet you cover it so well. Those smiley faces you give to the world are just fronts. Searching for happiness is like going on Easter egg hunts. You see, the truth is, you ain't had a real smile in months. But I can tell. Your Facebook posts and tweets shadow a world that's now unfolding. Yet you're accustomed to a life that's similar to baby strolling. You need someone to push you. Arms and backbone aren't strong enough for you to push through. So you question yourself. Your frustrations are beginning to take a toll on your health. Yet you want what you want when you want it, but you lack the persistence. So quick to give up on things when faced with a little resistance. You got a lot of drive, but you can sit in the back. Maybe driving is one of the qualifications you still lack because you love to be driven. Now those frustrations you tried burying have come back and arisen. I've seen the steps you took as I followed the traces. Can sense the look of dried up tears on people's faces. But who am I to judge? I got frustrations of my own. Oh, I ain't afraid to admit it, I'm grown. But those barriers you keep up thinking nobody will find you won't stand the test of time like the Great Wall of China. You want someone to mend that broken heart? Well, how about getting a seamstress? Why should someone else hold your ass up when the underwear you choose to wear is seamless? Don't front for me. Save all the drama and bullshit for reality TV. You stay hidden behind the shell like a turtle, trying to keep everything sucked in like a girdle. But I'm on to you, trying to figure out what the hell happened that scorned you. Yet you hide it so well. At least that's what you thought. But I can tell. So you've learned to play with all them frustrations and release them in the form of masturbation and no sexual penetration. But that's nothing but a temporary cover-up. All because you lack the nerves it takes to muster up the strength, the courage, and the determination to finally open that door and let out those frustrations.
Yes, yes.
So before I go into our last poet, spoken word artist, I'm gonna do that one. Beware of the lurking beasts. They will sit at your table and feast. They will pretend their presence is so great. All they come to do is tempt. A lurking beast think they so clever. They can't fake forever. They smile in your face and secretly be your enemy. And you can't see that they are no more than just a friend. They can make good friend to me. Hold on to your seat. It's about to get 10 feet deep. You share your thoughts, presence, time with the lurking beast. You don't even have a clue on what they're about to do. They come with three verbs: take, destroy, and ruin. They so slick with it, you don't even know what they're doing. Most of the time, the lurking beast is in plain sight. They just sitting in the cut waiting to bite. Like a poisonous snake. The lurking beast is malicious. The bite gonna be vicious. A silent attack. And it be the one you think got your back. They are marinating their actions in a pot. Before you know it, you done got. Now I ain't trying to scare you. I just want you to beware of who. The lurking beast is on the prowl, main intent to take, destroy, and ruin now. Beware of what they be doing. You have been forewarned. Stay alert. Don't get your feelings hurt. And keep your mind on the fence. After hearing this, it'll all make sense. Let your guards increase and beware of the lurking beast. Okay, so this next artist that I will bring up is your modern day Renaissance woman, an artist, writer, wellness practitioner, community advocate, a reformer, a mother, and a wife. She believes her voice is grand, but her purpose is grander. And has dedicated her life to healing the world, love, joy, and the power of light. So without further ado, I introduce to you Harmony.
See my mom over here. I'm not gonna look up on this side of the room at all. Because I gotta keep focused. You gonna be my mom today. I hear it already. All right. Okay. I need a break. I need somewhere to break. I need somewhere where my tears are safe, but not just safe felt. And not just felt, covered. Where do super warrior hearts go to recover? I'm like a transformer without a garage. Can't even break down without espionage. It's like the whole world's watching to see if I can take it. A billion black iron spine women before me, and they're trying to see if they can break it. Break a chain of us being pretty under pressure, dodging insult and insecurity without going insane. And I just want to release it. It's a shame what it cost me to put this ish down. Such a drain on my journey to get this wish found. Because they'll give you some peace for a kiss or some respect for a bag. But if you're demanding that real reconstruction, well, now you a drag. Nothing fun about she who holds up the world needing to be held. I mean, if everyone relies on she, why can't she rely on self? The irony of an iron me needing help. Who gives to the sea? Whose job is that? Or a mountain or the forest, who got their back? This phenomenon called woman, and don't let her be black. And don't let her need a rewire or a retire or her heart attack. And don't let her be heavier than the ish she dragged. And don't let her go reaching for a fallen man. Cause them kids like bricks and his brokenness like quicksand. So thank you for that candle and that gift certificate to the spa. But I was really hoping that someone could remind me of Ra. I was hoping that someone could remind me of the sky. I just want to give life to life without having to die. So, hey, yo, son. You got some space on your chest for the universe. Not just for copping feels, but for healing hurt. Not just for chills and thrills, but for seeing her. Her being pressure allows her less space to breathe. They label her as strong, so she have less things to need. Her tears should be made of gorilla glue the way she holds things together. Pre-pyramid and BC, she's been power forever. Everything is glass around the unbreakable. Every day is an earthquake for the unshakable. But in the right place at the right time, I swear I'd shatter. If I was certain I'd be gathered. If all the hurt and work mattered. If even asked, what's the matter? To be a healer for the world and to be looked over as hard as ice, but never colder. To be that person to the people with no person of your own. A garden to the starving with no seeds being sown. She needs a break. She needs space on her plate. It's about time that she's safe. For she is goodness's sake. Impulse. We got this question. He's told me I could do four. So. Yeah. Come on, let's do it. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Now this one is for my babies. I gave birth to 3 boys and 2 girls. This is for my boys. It's for freedom, wisdom, and kingdom. Whoo! All right. They got our babies in graves and caves like their ancestors were slaves. They got our babies in graves and caves like their ancestors were slaves. Isn't it strange how they all are the same? How they all misbehave? It's like they copy and paste the blame. Or maybe they just copy and paste the shame. Who taught you to hate yourself? That was for their grandfathers. Who told you to erase yourself? Now that is what followed. Brown boys in big cities told to be college bound, then sticky trapped to street corners and offered rounds and pounds. If it wasn't so enraging, it'd be laughable. Their entire life an escape room full of trauma and survival that's unmatchable. Told in school that their ancestors want much more than them. Taught that their stories begin on this land, so they start to pretend that they own the land and that they should be feared and that they are the ones shifting the gears. Forget Santa Claus and fairy tale myths. Try growing old as a birthday wish or a 1 in a million predicament. Flooded with the history of bleeding and pleading. What are we not seeing but them reflecting a narrative of communities bleeding and pleading? Pleading for more time. Pleading to come home. Pleading for their minds and to just be left alone. Yeah. Raise your voice to the stage if you got a baby in a cage. That's right. If you got a baby in a grave. If he got stuck on a track that this wretched place paved. Raise it with the mother's rage. With your heart on fire like a cleansing sage. If you still waiting on your baby to come home, talk to the people. For all of our babies that never made it home, we owe it to the stage to let it be known that it comes from slaves. That's just where their broken hearts started. And their reality is not uncharted. Forget human beings. I gave birth to divine kings. You gave birth to divine kings, forced to live in a world that hates what that means. The hate in this place make them hate what they see. I feel the weight on their souls from them just trying to be. The first king I birthed, I called him freedom. Talk to people. The first king I birthed, I called him freedom. Felt that when he was himself, the world didn't see him. So he raised hell until the world believed. Believed in his fight and his power and his force. He grew tired of being the main course. So eat or be eaten became his main choice. I whispered to his soul so that God's his main voice. The second king. The second king I birthed, I called him wisdom. If there was ever a brilliance that could break this system, could mentally undo structures, bend and twist them, told that he should be grateful for the graves and chains that missed him. But for the ones that fell, he can't stop missing them. Paralyzed by the vicarious bullets that hit him. Paralyzed by the vicarious beds that shift him. I craft prayers daily to lift him. With the nightmares that chase him, he hops clouds to forget them. My baby king, a name to the kingdom. Trying to be a king, but he ain't never seen one. I'm trying to hold on to his hope while he's still a believer. Keeping him safe in this city is like untying him from a track as a train approaches. Trying to tame his warrior spirit so that he stays sane and focused so that he makes it home. So he lives long enough to be grown. But oh, what I give for a world that he could freely roam, that he could safely explore and see more of his own, more getting and winning and seeing and free, more black and brown peace. A diamond underground is a diamond still. It's just greatly depending on how we drill. We can't let them be buried and their spirits killed. We can't let them be forgotten and their stories sealed. My kings, from greatness you came, and from greatness you will always be.
Yes.
And no matter what they do to you, your greatness I will always see.
Yes.
They got our babies in graves and caves, like their ancestors were slaves. They got our babies in graves and caves, like their ancestors were just slaves. They got our babies in. All right, y'all. You made it down. We got some more questions.
Wow.
Woo! Okay, this next one. This is for the black love, the black love matters. Come on now. Oh, there's a storm of pain that rains on our love. It's a storm of pain that didn't start with us. There's a sharp hail that floods black love. It's the type of storm that mixes plantation tears and big shit branding. It's the type of storm that parachutes don't land. We've had to save each other so much, we've confused each other for the enemy.
Wow.
Can't at all live without each other, so we've morphed into frenemies. I mean, because every time we're drowning, it's your face I see. And every time I'm hurting, you're closest to me. So are you my problem or my remedy? The storm makes it hard to see. It's the storm that stops you till you feel unworthy of me. And the storm that drenches me so there's only my body we see. It's 1,000 years of storms that makes it hard to breathe. It's like we jumped the broom with boxing gloves. Mad that we had to jump a broom at all. Mad that you had to ignore midnight calls. I see in you what was taken. You see in me what they took. But fruit always falls when a tree is shook. It's the shaking that has me thinking about how come we've never fallen apart. I mean, these people got breaking and seasoning down to an art. And it's been a heavy love story from the start. And it's heavy still. And the road's been real. But so have you. You've been real strong and real present when the day is through. I mean, Martin patient and Malcolm gangster too. And after all the ruckus, I still fix your food. Hundreds of years of me changing the mood, shining your shoes and playing my guitar to your blues. They say we have the saddest story, the most broken homes and the most missing glory. I say, I've never stopped going with you. And all the places we've been. They say that we don't get along, but I've never had a more constant friend. I've never known an era without the black man. And you've never known a reality without me the same. And there's something divine that happens when you have to grow together through pain. And because of our story will never be the same for all the seasons we've exchanged. There's a storm of pain that rains on our love. But it beats down on an umbrella of us, dancing beneath it untouched but ever mindful of. We've always been geared up, but the war has never been between us. Woo! Okay. Getting to my last one, I want y'all to share something real quick before I get into this last one. Can I get the brothers first? All the brothers to tell the black woman, you're not my problem.
You're not my problem.
You're not my problem. You're my purpose.
You're my purpose.
Okay, they try to talk to the black women. They try to talk to. I mean, y'all gonna do it again, Brother Strong, right? You're not my problem.
You're not my problem.
You're my purpose.
You're my purpose.
Black love in this space. All right, ladies, now we're gonna be sexy with it, okay? We're gonna say, let me fix my hair. We're gonna say, babe. Y'all ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Babe, you not my problem. You not my problem. You my purpose. You're my purpose. Trying to say we don't love each other. Listen, y'all. Okay, all right. Last one, and we'll get a fight, okay? last one. That one was called We Go Together, Caves and Graves. And then this last one is I Wonder if Jesus Got a Homeboy. Okay? Let's go. Okay. I wonder if Jesus had a homeboy. Or was everybody just there for the wine and restore sight? Like, was there anyone there that was just making sure that he was all right? Like, after he walked on water or bore a cross, was there anyone that he could sit across? Anyone that would bring balance to what he lost? Have you ever had a friend with a unicorn horn and wings who could speak healing and see and hear things? When you invite that friend to dinner, like, what is the gist? Like, do you ever consider the weight of their gifts? Or are you just eager for them to assist? Now, talents are strengthened in the usage, but spirit is worn in the usage. So do you try to give to it the same way you try to get to it? You do know that they can't lean through it until they've been through it. They say, check on your strong friends. I say, just be a strong friend. You might can't move a mountain, but you can move an emotion and be someone on which they can depend. So who was Jesus tripping with? Who helped him forget? And then who helped him remember? And with all that he was doing, who helped him stay tender? They say to whom much is given, much is required. But does that not apply to the ones that you ride with? So have you ever tried to touch somebody that touched you? And I'm not talking grabbing as they walk through. I'm talking standing when they're going through. Bedside when they coming to. Faith and kindness when there is no proof. So I know Jesus had followers and believers. But did he have prayers and seers over his crown and his fears? Or was everybody just like, Jesus got it? Them chosen ones, they don't need nobody. So I find myself wondering if Jesus had a hitter. Or was everybody around him just sinners and pretenders, getting close to his power but never close to him, soaking up all his hours like he worked for them? So who was his home skillet? The realist, the one who really loved him and he can feel it. And he didn't have to perform for them to reveal it. So when the whole world was like, what would Jesus do? What? Who woke up like, how is Jesus doing? When the world was adoring, who was pouring? When the crowds were applauding, who was calling? Who came to mind when he was beaten and falling? See, everybody wants a light fixture, but not everybody want to be a light fixer. And I hear them sing, oh, what a constant friend he is of mine. And I wonder how often they keep that constant friend in mind. Honor and respect his time. Brighten and protect his shine. See, when you get where you're going, there's only two types of friends you see. It's the best of them and the rest of them. It's the leaders and the keepers. So let's just be the best type of friends to the best type of people. And that's